What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to another market breakdown. We're going to be looking at the Nas100 as well as looking at gold, right? So guys, welcome back. I believe you're going to find the content on this channel super useful, so make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like. And also just say hey, post something in the comment section, okay? Because obviously I would like to hear from you, right? So with all of that covered, we're going to get straight into the analysis for this week by briefly touching on what we talked about last week, and hopefully that should give a little bit of clarity as to what it is that I'm trying to do and how I'm trying to do it. Now, it's also important that I also say this as early as possible in the video, which is that I am not I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just a regular person trading the market, right? And I'm just sharing my thoughts on how I navigate the market with you. Through it all, you may find some gems, some golden nuggets that may aid you on your journey as you obviously take on this awesome career of being a trader, right? It is also important that you research everything I say in this video. Make sure it all makes sense to you before you commit your hard-earned capital towards any trades, because mistakes do get made, and I'm not putting myself forward as some kind of financial guru, right? I'm not one of those guys. So with all of that covered, we're going to get straight into the analysis for this week. So what I like to do first before I get into all of that is just briefly look at what I was talking about last week. So that's in the last video that I did, as well as what is going to be taking place as well as what's taking place last week just gone, which is this area right here, and as well as what we can aim to look out for in next week's market, which is obviously going to be Monday coming up, right? So with that covered, first let's look at this, right? So the last video that I did, I talked about the weekly high and the weekly low, right, which is in this area right here, and the weekly high be this area right here, right? And I also mentioned that the area was quite large. It was quite large, right? So you could navigate this area quite successfully, right, if you wanted to trade it and you were looking for other additional indicators to help you make those moves. But me personally, I would have waited, right? I mean, actually no, that's not entirely accurate. I actually would have taken buys when certain levels were taken out, but if you're completely new to this, you really do want to wait for weekly highs and weekly lows to be taken out, right? So last week we had the weekly low taken out over here, not last week gone, but the week prior, right? So this weekly low was taken out over here, which was a fantastic move to be able to get in and obviously put in some trades. So we had one weekly low. So the previous week, that was this level right here. It was taken out, it went down, and then we had the prior week to that week low taken out as well. So we had two weekly lows taken out in one day, which was the Monday the 2nd of Jan, right? According to what I'm looking at, Monday the 2nd of Jan, that's when that happened. So all of that is taking place. It's all well and fine. So now let's look at what's taking place this week, right? So this week just gone, we can now see that the new weekly low was set at this location right here. So this is the weekly low that was currently being set. Just gonna drop a little label on it, and let's just move that over here, and let's just move this back, right? And then we have a new weekly high that's been set over here. So I'm just going to assign a new level to that right now. And once again, because the gap between the weekly highs and the weekly lows are so large, right, I kind of want to wait. So either one or the other is going to take place, in my opinion, right? So it's either this market is going to come down or market is going to continue to push up. But only until we have a weekly or weekly high that's taken out will we actually know the direction of where market actually wants to go, in my opinion, right? So that's what I would normally be waiting for, and that is what I would wait for if I start making mistakes in the market. And in all fairness, I can definitely say this to you hand on heart, the last week was a slaughterhouse for me in regards to the trades that I placed. I lost every single trade I entered into last week in regards to gold, right? And a lot of it was done on FOMO, and a lot of it was done on me not actually following my own good advice that I know work. I went against what I know to work, and it didn't work, right? And I kept doing it. So just as a little friendly advice to you, the journey of managing your emotions and your psychology in trades is an ongoing battle. Okay, you just don't figure it out one day and all of a sudden you've done it and then you go through. I mean, with my experience right now, what I am finding is that it's an ongoing battle. It's something that I have to continue to remind myself that that the market is very dynamic, very fluid. It does what it wants to do, and therefore I cannot walk in there with emotions, hopes, and all that kind of stuff. It just doesn't work. And last week, that's exactly what I went into the market with, and once again, I got totally destroyed. Not wiped out, destroyed, right? So for this week, ideally, I want to be preparing myself properly in regards to how I plan to navigate it all. So that's a bit of a spill in regards to gold, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we get into the gold market. Just based on how I'm saying what I'm saying, it kind of naturally flowed into me talking about my successes and my losses for last week, and I lost every single trade. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in the next part of this video, which we're going to be doing about gold. So getting back on track in regards to where market is, what we're looking for, and all the other good stuff. So first things first, we have the weekly high of last week, which is set at 169.12.8, and the weekly low, which is set at 16234.8. These are the two levels that we're looking at for, and if the levels are breached, we're going to be looking for a comfortable location to therefore put in our trades in the corresponding direction. So example, if the weekly low is taken out, we would wait or hope to see some type of a pullback. Okay, doing all of the analysis, we see the likelihood of a pullback taking place. If it does take place, then naturally all we're going to do is lock ourselves in at the best possible price possible and ride it in the direction that we want it to go. So these are the two levels that we're looking out for in regards to what we're expecting Nas to do for next week. Either this level gets taken out or this level gets taken out. As to what it's going to do, that I don't know. We have to find out next week. So with that said, I'm going to jump onto another chart of Nas, right? And we're going to look on a day and we're going to see where everything is. Let me see if I can find a much cleaner one. See if I can, because we've done some scribbles on here. This is kind of going in line with what I think the Nas is going to do, but let's just see if this high is taken out. But let me see if I can find a cleaner one. So as we can see right now, all right, in regards to what Nas is currently doing, right, is the previous high, the highest high has been taken out clean, right? It's been taken out clean. So what market is now doing now is that it's now moving upwards. Okay, so it's fair to assume that the good old days are back, right? I could be wrong. I hope I'm right, but it looks like the good old days are back in regards to Nas. It's going to be easy trading moving forward from what I can see. So now all we're basically waiting for, all I'm basically waiting for, if I am going to jump into Nas in any way, shape or form, right, is basically I'll be waiting for this level to be taken out, which will confirm to me that there's a very strong possibility of continuation of a push to the upside. And remember, where Nas is right now, it actually is at a major level. So it's actually at a major level right now, right? So let me just go to that so I can show you that again before we come to this. No, it's not that. It's another setup. Okay, right. So as you can see here, it is at a major level. And what does this major level correspond with? Let's just have a quick look. Let's go all the way back where I got this major level. So this major level is literally coming from the previous high that was set back in 2021 when everything was good before it did its crazy drop downwards. And now it's pushed back up and it's recovered itself from that location. So it's gone above it now. And now what we now need to see if it's going to continue to push upwards or if it's going to start to break back down again. Because either way, what we don't want is for this whole situation. So let me just go back again. What we don't want is for this whole situation here to be a range, right? And I kind of think it is a range, right? I kind of think it is a range, but I can't confirm it yet. But it feels like it's going to be a range. What I do hope is that I am wrong and that market continues to push up. So let's get rid of all of the drawings on here for a second. What I do hope is that market continues to push up. And if it does continue to push up, it's fair to assume at that point that the good old days are back and we're only going to be making new higher highs in regards to the Nas. right? So that's my vibe on that, but only time will tell as we move towards the coming days, weeks, and months, right? Okay, so with that covered, we're going to now jump swiftly into gold. So now gold is the asset that I am actively trading right now. So I'm not actually trading the Nas, right? But I am actively trading gold right now, right? And last week was an absolute slaughterhouse in terms of how I entered the market and what kind of punishment market dished out towards myself, how I managed to mess up really simple trades that could have worked, but obviously I did all the wrong things, and how I plan to avoid those in the future. And I'm not gonna lie, the slap around was so brutal, it had me second guessing if I'm actually trading the right instrument or not. So right now I'm in two minds if I'm gonna run back to Nas with my tail between my legs, or if I'm just going to stick with it and just continue to do what I can do, right? So first things first, as you can see, looking at what we're looking at right now, it should be quite easy to see where I started to screw up, right? Okay, so first we had the weekly low that was taken out. Okay, we had a weekly low that was taken out, right? So then what I did was immediately after the weekly lows were taken out, right, and market started to push up, I positioned myself right here. I positioned myself right here. Where was it? 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 Right here with a sell, right? And my target for a stop, which I thought was really safe, right, was here. And as you can see, it didn't work out, right? So I'm selling from this location over here, all right, because the weekly low has been taken out. So I'm assuming market is only going to keep pushing up. So market pushes all the way up and takes me out on a Tuesday, boom. So I lost that trade right here, right? Cool, fine, it happens, right? So market is now gone into a range in this zone over here, hence why it's so dangerous, man. When market starts ranging, you really got to be careful, right? So what happened was, on the next one was, I'm waiting for that market to obviously push down, right? And at this point, all the rules that I follow has completely gone out the window at this point. I am now working off FOMO, right? So what happens is, on the same day, I see a new low has been created on that day, which is over here, right? A new low has been created on that day, right? Which is over here. Market pulls up to this level right here. Okay, I then put in another sell because I've seen weekly lows been taken out over here, right? Right about here, right? And then I set my stop right above this level right here, right? Because I believe that is sensible. And obviously you can see on Friday or on Thursday exactly what happened. So on Thursday, everything was going good. I done a sell, boom, it went down, right? It went down to under the daily low of the previous day, which was Tuesday. So I was feeling super confident. Then it whipped all the way back up again, right? It whipped all the way back up again, and then I got worried. Then it came all the way back down again, at which point I realized I was in a range and I was in a bad spot in terms of where my trade actually was, because I'm sitting in the middle of the range. So I had one or two decisions to make: hope for the best and stay in the trade and hope it goes my way, right? And I got that move literally on the Thursday. So on the Thursday, actually no, I didn't get that move on the Thursday. So okay, so what happened was, market obviously came up, almost took me out because it got really close to my stop and then flew down again, right? And then on the Wednesday, it went all the way back up again, took me out, and then flew all the way back down, and that profit on the way down I could have done with. And then straight after doing that, it started to push itself all the way back up again. So as it stands, last week I lost every single trade I entered into, right? And that's just how that went, right? That's just how that went, right? So it wasn't a nice experience, but it is an experience that we traders, we have to experience, because such is the game that we play. Okay, so with that covered, once again, we're now looking for the exact same things that I was looking for last week. So I'm either waiting for a weekly low to be taken out. And by the way, guys, just because it did not work out last week, it does not mean that the weekly lows and the weekly highs do not work. Please do not get that confused. Okay, this thing actually works, but now and again, if it goes into a range like it did over here, okay, consolidation, this is where we can be very, very, very difficult to navigate, right? Very, very, very difficult to navigate, and you can find yourself in hot water if you do things wrong, right? So let's just type up this, well, not, let's just bring in a label for this location over here. So we've got a weekly low, and then up here we have the new weekly high. Let's assign a label to that, new weekly high, right? And all I'm going to be doing, or all I am waiting for, right, is one of these levels to be taken out, and then I'm going to start planning my entries as to how I want to get into the market. Okay, so my losses for last week has not deterred me from the formula that I used in navigating the market. So if market closes above 2061.79, I'm looking for buys in hope of getting a pullback so I can get in at the bottom and ride it to the top. Okay, that is the plan. And then if market closes below 2013.37, I will then start looking for sales. Now, in saying that, it's not going to be a straight entry. What I will be looking for is to see what market is actually doing once it closes above or below those areas, to help me determine what type of action I need to take. And for next week, I really, really hope that I'll be able to exercise more patience in terms of how I actually enter the trade and not be so gun-ho into going into the market as I did week just gone, because this whole week over here was an absolute disaster. It could have been avoided had I exercised patience. Point blank and simple, right? But however, I developed a bias in terms of where I thought market was going to go. I was expecting market to go in that direction. In some cases, it actually went in that direction, but I just didn't put in the right, what's the word I'm looking for? Countermeasures in place to help me make sure that I could capitalize, especially in this area over here, because I technically should have won the trade I had over here because of where I put my stop. Hence why I lost that. My stop was not as high as it should have been. I should have basically had my stop up here. But that level of stop, in all fairness, I wasn't comfortable with, right? And the stop that I was comfortable with ended up getting taken. So these are lessons that I've learned from last week's trades. And for next week, hopefully at the end of that, either on a Saturday or a Sunday, I'll be coming back to you with much better results in terms of how I navigated the market. So I'd really hope that the information I've shared with you today has been super useful in terms of helping you, aid you along your journey with your trades, right? Make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like. I want to thank you for coming over to spend your quality time, because you could be anywhere, but you've chose to be here with me today or at some point in the future, and I definitely appreciate you for that, and I look forward to seeing you in the future videos. So for now, this is Pips and Points signing out.